Hey, I'm Greg Oliver, the founder and CEO of Secret Weapon Studios. We've got a platform called PostHero where we work with Blackmagic Design and DaVinci Resolve to make remote posts so much easier, so much more efficient, and so much more affordable. PostHero is a turnkey platform for remote post teams. It allows your team to work together remotely, wherever they are in the world, on the same project at the same time, on the same timeline. Today is our first video in a series of tutorial videos that we're going to be rolling out to help sort of explain our experience that we had on Hulu and explain how we at Secret Weapon Studios use PostHero to help streamline your post needs. All right, well, thanks for joining everybody. We got Justin on the line, who is our workflow architect at Secret Weapon Studios, who actually helped run the entire Hulu show last year that we're here to talk about. We got Matt DeJean from Blackmagic Design. Say hey, Matt.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm here with the workflow team at Blackmagic Design, and we work with service providers, producers, filmmakers to help support people who are doing all Resolve workflow on their shows, like the Hulu show.
Matt, was it a unique experience, our Hulu show?
Hulu was an interesting show because you had all these producers spread all across the globe. So it was kind of a scale above a lot of the other shows that we've helped support.
With these little boxes, these are the little Cloud Store 8 terabyte boxes. Everyone on the team had one of these, so it had proxies on it. And then we had a big box, this 80 terabyte here in New York that had the raw footage on it that Justin put footage on there, made proxies. The proxies went to the cloud and down to all the little boxes. Aaron has we sent you a Cloud Store box, right? So you have an 8 terabyte hooked up, and then Matt DeJean in LA has one, right? So we're going to connect both of you to a project that Justin started. This video is intended to sort of be like a start, like a 101, like we're going to get you connected, and then we'll do more in-depth videos in the future. Go ahead, take it away, Justin.
Cool. So hello, everybody. So when you sign on with us at Secret Weapon, we can send you out one of these cloud stores. It'll come in a Pelican case, already wrapped up, ready for you. We will have a URL for you to go to. It'll have different links for you to download the software, download the ways that we can connect the cloud store. Just plug in the power cable, plug in the USB-C or Ethernet cable to your computer. Once you plug it in, you'll be able to see this icon right here, and it'll say Blackmagic Cloud Store Mini. It'll show you how much storage is available on the device. If it's a new device, it'll say 0 out of 8.19 terabytes. Each of these Cloud Store Minis only has 8 terabytes. If you want more space than that, we can stack them. We can do multiple Cloud Store Minis, or we can move up to the Cloud Store. I think 20 terabyte is the next step up, and then 80 terabyte after that. This internet icon shows you your upload and download speeds at which you're uploading and downloading footage. Status shows how much bandwidth your physical connection to your computer is pulling. So if it's USB-C, it'll max out at about 5 gigs. And if you're doing 10 gig Ethernet, it'll be around 10 gigs. Once we go into the actual setup, you can name the device whatever you want. Usually we name them Cloud Store Mini, or we try to stick to whatever company we're working with. All of this stuff is pretty much set for you. If you click this little crosshair icon, it sets your current time zone. The way that the Cloud Store works is it's kind of like a NAS. It's not necessarily a full plug and play SSD. It's like a NAS. It has to have a handshake between itself and the operating system. Usually you can check via USB-C or Ethernet, whatever your connection is. If you have Ethernet plugged in, you do need to make sure that it is on USB and Ethernet. Cloud Sync, this will start off as a blank screen like this. You have the option of using Dropbox or Google Drive. For Secret Weapon, we currently use Dropbox.
Matt, you guys just rolled out your own Blackmagic Cloud, right?
Yeah, so the Blackmagic Cloud, it's our online storage service where the project data lives, any presentation media, which is a whole separate thing, or any media for the projects if you choose to use that method of syncing media. And it's kind of a replacement to a Google Drive or a Dropbox, but just hosted within our ecosystem.
Gotcha. So right now it's like very turnkey to use Google Drive or Dropbox, and we use Dropbox very successfully on Hulu, right? So that's what we got good at Secret Weapon on the Hulu show. And we just did a Panda Express commercial where we use Dropbox as well. But I'm excited for you to be working on your cloud, because then it just sort of makes everything all under one ecosystem, which seems A lot less to worry about, even though it worked really well with Dropbox. Sorry, Justin, you can continue. Didn't mean to jump on you there.
No problem. If you're not signed into a Dropbox account on the Cloud Store app, if you hit sign in, it'll bring you to this landing page. We're going to give you a specific email address that you put in these boxes and also a password. So if you go back to the Cloud Store app, it's now connected to Dropbox and it'll ask you for a sync location. This is first box is just for me, whoever's in the app, just to know what the sync protocol is. I choose the location on the Cloud Store where I want all of this information to go. So right now I have a media folder, I have a shared folder. I'm gonna go ahead and just create a new one and call it docs. I'm gonna hit set. That creates a folder on the Finder level in my Cloud Store. I'm then gonna go to the Dropbox location, PostHero Cloud. For this purposes, the training video that we have set up, I'm just gonna create a new folder, docs, set, and then this sync direction is very important. It tells you which way the media is going to live. So if you have read or write permissions, essentially. So if you do both ways, you have read and write access to every single file in that folder. Same thing with anybody else that sets the access the same way. If you wanted to just send it from your Cloud Store to Dropbox, this would be the option. And then as people connect their Cloud Stores, they would then hit from Dropbox to Cloud Store. And then with that option, all of the media that you then upload will download to their Cloud Stores. Only you have write permission to that folder. If they're just setting up their box to do Dropbox to Cloud Store, then they only have read permissions. And this is the safest way for whoever is in control of the raw media to stay in control of that raw media and not have someone else mess with it. So if we're gonna do camera raws or any important documents that you don't want to have someone be able to modify it all, that's the workflow that we would use. Anything else we would do both ways. So anything that's in like a shared folder, any kind of music or graphics or sound effects that anybody can move around, anybody can copy and modify, you want to put those into a shared folder and have the sync direction be both ways.
That, what you're showing on Hulu, you were the only one that had access to the raw, and you were making proxies that were sent to everybody. But then
correct.
Anyone else, nobody could like mess with or affect the proxies on the main drive or the cloud or the raw media. But if an AE added a song or any archival or stuff, wherever they were, it automatically sunk to everybody's boxes, right? That was part of the
correct. Yeah, so just as an example, in this case, the way that we did the sync direction, this media folder, only I have access to read and write. Everybody else that has a Cloud Store that's connected to this folder structure only has read access to it. So that would be in the case of the Hulu show, I would put the original camera media in here, and then anybody that wanted access, they would only be able to download these proxies that are in here.
Justin, while you're talking about that, on Hulu they shot for how many, like a week, right? And that there was the 8 terabyte drives everybody had were plenty of space to host all the proxies, but we didn't send raw to anybody, right? So it was like, how much media did we use on that?
Correct. We have about 40 terabytes on that big Cloud Store that you have with you right now that still has the raw media on there. And then this Cloud Store that I have also has that media still on there. It took about 1.8 terabytes worth of proxies. So going from 40 terabytes to 1.8 is a pretty big difference. And the way that we did that was Matt had us set up the proxy generator to use H.264 instead of ProRes. You can use whatever workflow fits you best just to save space, because we knew that we were going to have plenty of shoot days and plenty of terabytes to chew through. H.264 was the best option. Next thing that we want you to do is create a Blackmagic Cloud ID. You're just going to go ahead and log in. You should be able to click this project server and see that you're connected to a project server. Once you log in with your Blackmagic Cloud ID, if you hit the cloud button, it'll ask you for your user ID. And then you will see on the left-hand side whatever project library you're assigned to. So if I open up this project, just double click it. If I go down to the bottom right and click this little icon, it shows me how many different users are in the project currently. So we've got 3 other people besides myself in this project. There's also a chat box in here. So if you don't have any messaging systems set up already, you can use the chat feature. It does tell you when people join and leave a project, so you can see if someone is currently in a project or not. This is where the fun happens. We are now in Resolve and we're able to see that everybody's in Resolve with us. And now if I start creating different folders, everybody can go through these different folders and we'll see their icons moving around. These icons on the left-hand side are people going in and out of different bins. If I go into just the shoot day, I can see all of my medias in here. Should be pretty straightforward from this point on. You should be able to interact with the Resolve just like you would any other NLE. It's just going to be a lot more fluid from my experience. So you can, create new timelines, drop in your footage. As people are in and out of the project, you'll see them on the left-hand side, and then you'll also see them in the bin sometimes working on different things. You can lock a bin from someone, and then you're in a sequence first. You have locked that sequence to just you. So you have a red timeline indicator, playhead. Anybody else that comes into that timeline after you has a gray playhead. That just indicates that they're not able to make any modifications to the timeline once you're in it. So if you have, for example, a producer that you're working with and you're making edits and they want to see the work that you've done, there should be a refresh icon on everybody's timeline showing that my timeline has just made a change. They right click in the bin and refresh bins. It'll refresh any changes that I've made on my timeline to their timeline. So that way, if you're working with a producer, you can make a change on the fly, say, hey, can you check that for me? I need to see if that's working for you. They'll check it and they'll say yes or no. And it's a pretty simple workflow from that point on.